We belong to the earth. We all belong to the earth. It's not that she belongs to us. It's we belong to her. We belong to her. A strand in the web are we. A strand in the web, I believe. To own it, we cannot dare to dream. It's a web that we didn't weave. A web that we didn't weave. We belong to the earth. We all belong to the earth. It's not that she belongs to us. It's we belong to her. We belong to her.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm Rabbi Barry Silver, and on behalf of Congregation Va-Dor, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to our celebration of Shabbat and of Earth Day. We began by hearing cantorial soloist Andy Sussman singing We Belong to the Earth. What a great way to begin this Shabbat celebration. The Torah tells us that the earth actually belongs to humans, that God created all of this splendor just to amuse Adam and decided to see what would he call these animals. And then, as an afterthought, Adam said, hey, wait a minute, I need somebody else to keep me company. And God said, oh, okay, I'll create Eve. And so everything belongs to Adam. It was all created for his benefit. What an anthropomorphic type of view. You know, I'd like to offer my 2 cents worth on this. Actually, I'd like to offer 20 cents worth. Why 20 cents? Well, I think we need a paradigm shift away from this way of thinking to recognize the earth doesn't belong to us. We belong to the earth. Why do I call a paradigm shift 20 cents? Well, a dime is 10 cents, and a paradigms are 20 cents. So let's have a paradigm shift. And let's put in our 20 cents worth and say, you know what? This type of thinking that the earth belongs to us to do what we want, not only is it anthropomorphic, not only is it egocentric, not only is it solipsistic, it's also fatal. The Native Americans were right. We must learn to live in harmony with the earth if we are to survive, and if we are to be the type of creatures that the Torah envisioned us to be, enlightened stewards, people who live in harmony with earth. So let us celebrate this Shabbat and Earth Day and see what we can do to have a different way of viewing the earth in harmony with all living things. To help us celebrate, we have Saul and Nadine Herbst. They will be leading us with the candle lighting. Cantorial soloist Andy Sussman will lead us in the Kiddush. And now, let the celebration of Shabbat and Earth Day begin.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Another week of work has ended. Again, Shabbat brings welcome peace.
We pause from our labors to let Shabbat give another dimension to our lives. These Sabbath candles are symbols of the holiness we seek. Their brightness dispels gloom and lights a path to faith and hope. Their glow reminds us of the sacred bonds that link us to our people over space and time. Their radiance summons us to fulfill our people's mission to cast the light of freedom, justice, and peace upon all the world.
There's the match.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzibonu Lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This is Earth Day.
Yes, on Thursday we will celebrate Earth Day. Earth Day really shouldn't be just one day. It should be 365 days. Many of you know that we've often spoken of Mother Earth. We also know how important our own mothers, if we've been fortunate enough to have them, have been to us. And that is the same with Mother Earth. So let us all think about that and try to behave ourselves and be good little children by taking care of this beautiful earth, because we will not have another one if we don't take care of this one.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon, hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim, ki banu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, b'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam.
Your presence fills creation.
You bring us here. Baruch atah Adonai,
Holy One,
Eloheinu melech haolam.
your presence fills creation.
You keep us here. Shehechianu
Us alive,
v'kiyamanu
sustaining our life.
v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Helping us reach this day.
Shehechianu
Keep us alive,
v'kiyamanu
sustaining our life.
v'higianu lazman hazeh.
It was Einstein who pointed out the spectacular beauty and wonders and symmetry of the universe. He said that this dazzling beauty and awe and wonder surrounding us is the origin of all art and science and religion. He said, "He who is without it is as good as dead spiritually, like a snuffed out candle." And so on Shabbat, we light the candles in order to appreciate the beauty of the world around us. If we could get out from under our little narrow viewpoint and travel millions of miles away, the earth would be seen as a diadem, a pale blue dot. And if we get closer, we see spectacular beauty and majesty. As we say these prayers, the Baruch Hu, the Shema, the V'ahavta, let us have a sense of awe and love. And let us cherish this wonderful earth. These prayers can be given meaning when they instill in us a reverence for all life and for our planet, and also the desire to care for it and to try to restore its beauty. Let us keep these wonderful thoughts in mind as we listen to the traditional prayers from our tradition, understood in modern ways.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Adonai kol haaretz, shiru 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 l'Adonai shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, shiru chadash, shiru ladonai, kol haaretz, shiru ladonai, shir chadash, shiru, shiru, shiru ladonai, kol haaretz, shiru, shiru, shiru ladonai, shir chadash, shiru ladonai, kol haaretz, shiru ladonai, shir chadash. Sing to the one source of all life. Sing to the source, earth and all of life. Shiru, shiru, shiru ladonai, kol haaretz. Shiru, shiru, shiru ladonai, shir chadash. Shiru, shiru, shiru ladonai, kol haaretz. Shiru, shiru, shiru ladonai, shir chadash. Shiru ladonai, kol haaretz. Shiru ladonai, shir chadash. Sing to the one source of all life. Sing to the source, earth and all of life.
It was the great Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, revered by Reform, Conservative, Orthodox alike, as well as all other Jews, who said that when we go through a period of mourning, we pass through three phases. First, we're in stunned silence. Then we shed tears. And then we sing songs of praise for our loved ones. Let us approach the earth in this way. We have done great and massive destruction of the planet. Let us now spend a few moments of silence as we contemplate the errors of our ways and the harm that we have done. Then let us shed a tear of sorrow, of regret, of remorse for all the damage that we have done. And then in this Shabbat celebration, we will also sing the praises of Mother Earth to motivate us and instill us to try to be a force for good and to try to reverse that trend and to try to help people, not only of Judaism, but of all faiths, recognize that our highest calling is to do what we can to protect and promote life on earth in all its beauty and splendor. This is the best way that we can show reverence for life. And what is a prayer? What is a silent prayer? It's a way to still all the noise from the outside, to focus and concentrate on what's important. So let's focus on the importance of Mother Earth and do all we can to cherish her and to protect her. Now we enter into a moment of silent prayer.
goes before us. Help us find the courage to make our life a blessing, and let us say, Amen. B'sheberach imotenu, Mikor habracha lamotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
As we bless the source of light, so we are blessed. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. And the blessing gives us strength and makes our visions clear. And the blessing gives us peace and the courage to dare. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. As we bless the source of light, so we are blessed.
Our Torah reading this Shabbat is a double sedra. We have Achremot and Kedoshim. We will be reading from Kedoshim. Baruch hu et Adonai HaBarach, Baruch Adonai HaBarach L'olam Va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen. ובקוצכם את קצירתכם לא תקלה פאת צדך, ולקט קצירך לא תלקט. And when you reap the harvest of your land, do not pick up every last bit of fruit that falls to the ground. וחמך לא תעולל, ופורת כמך לא תלקט. As similarly with your vineyard, do not pick up every single last grape, la'ani v'lager ta'azov, but leave them for the needy, for the poor, and for the orphan. Ani Adonai, for I do not give this land just to you. You are stewards of it to use to help other people as well. Lo tignavu v'lo techachashu v'lo teshakchu. Don't oppress people. Don't be dishonest with people. Don't lie to your neighbors. Ish ba'amitu. Don't bear false witness in a dispute. V'lo teshav'u b'shmi l'shaker. Do not swear by my name to tell a lie. V'chilalti et shem Elohecha. For in that way you would desecrate the name of the Lord. Ani Adonai, I am the Lord. Lo ta'asuk et re'acha. Do not oppress your neighbor. V'lo tigdal v'lo talet v'ulat sachir otcha. Do not keep the wages of the poor with you ad boker until the morning. Lo tikalel cheresh v'lifnei iver lo titen machshol. Don't curse the deaf, and don't place a stumbling block before the blind. V'yirah Elohecha. Show that you have reverence for this life-giving force by being honest and true. Ani Adonai, I am the Lord. Lo ta'asu ever b'mishpat. Lo tis'a p'nei dal, v'lo tedal p'nei gadol. Be so fair and scrupulous in your judgments that you do not bend over backwards to help the poor or favor the rich. But tzedek tishpot, in righteousness shall you administer justice. Amitecha, for your neighbors. Lo telech rachil ba'amecha. Do not be a gossip monger among your people. Lo ta'amod al dam rayacha. And right in the center of Leviticus, in the center of the Torah, it says perhaps the most important pronouncement of all. Do not stand idly by the blood of your neighbor. Lo tikom v'lo titor et b'nei amecha. Do not bear a grudge, do not seek vengeance against your people. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. But you shall love your neighbor as yourself, and you shall not even hate your enemy, even in your heart. Ani Adonai, for I am the Lord. The blessing after the Torah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu turat emet, v'chai olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Happy Earth Day to you. Happy Earth Day to you. Happy Earth Day, global citizens. Happy Earth Day to you. What a wonderful celebration this is. Earth Day and Shabbat. The two have so much in common. They both celebrate this wonderful planet. And human beings in Hebrew are called Ben Adam, which literally means the child of the earth. Yes, the elements of earth form all of us. And we were also composed originally of elements that were forged in the furnace of stars billions of miles away and billions of years ago. To celebrate this day, we have two Torah passages, two Sedras, Acharei Mot and Kedoshim. Acharei Mot means after the death. Kedoshim means holiness. Why would holiness follow after the death? Because sometimes when we suffer a loss or a death, we need to have justice so eventually we can have holiness come out of this tragic event. We saw this with George Floyd. Tragically, his life was taken. Officer Chauvin took his life and put handcuffs on him and then put his face into the ground and asphyxiated him. But justice prevailed. And now we see an indelible image of Chauvin handcuffed, himself with manacles, walking out of the courtroom. Let us hope that we can remove the manacles of the mind, the shackles of the human mind that somehow keep us enslaved and cause us to become like Chauvin. Chauvin is the origin of the word chauvinist, someone who thinks their group is superior and therefore they can treat other groups as inferior with abuse. We saw this finally play out with not only the incarceration of Chauvin, but also calls for police reform, Kedoshim, justice, holiness. That is what we need. We saw recently President Biden said he's going to take the troops out of Afghanistan. Acharei Mot means after the death, after so much death in Afghanistan and so much money spent there. How could we bring about holiness? Maybe we could try to get to the root of the problem, which are people, children, innocent children, having their minds shackled, handcuffed, brainwashed by teachings from the Quran, which took some of the violent passages from Jewish scripture to teach children that they should become weapons of war and kill those who think differently. We as Jews need to accept responsibility for generating this violent concept and fixing it by saying, God didn't write our Torah, God didn't write your Bible, God didn't write Christian scripture. Let's move on and see it as our first step, not our last. Last year in 2020, we saw horrific forest fires. Can we use 2020 hindsight in order to learn how, after so much death and carnage and forest fires, billions of animals who were wiped out, who died with fear and terror, and people too who also perished? How can we bring about Kedoshim, holiness? We can by recognizing that earth is a beautiful treasure and we must not take it for granted, and we must fight climate change. Fortunately, we now have a president who's willing to move in that direction. We as a society, we as Jews, we as humans must join together in this global effort. But what does it mean to be holy? Kedoshim, what does that really mean? Does it mean we go into a cave and we isolate ourselves? Does it mean that we say a lot of prayers hoping for divine intervention? Does it mean that we follow a lot of rules or think irrationally? No. To be holy means to be holistic It means to recognize that we are interconnected, that we are tied in with something greater than ourselves, a power, a force, a creative energy, which our ancestors called God, but which we could think of as a power that is within all, that is beyond all, and that unites all. That's what it means to be holy. It means to be wholly inspired, wholly rational, wholly good, wholly interconnected with everything else so that we can become holistic. In Kiddushim, they give us some examples of holiness that are truly remarkable. These ideals hold up for us a paradigm of what it could mean to be a holy people. Imagine if the world was like this. Don't withhold the wages of the poor. Pay them right away because they might need that money in order for their sustenance. Don't curse the deaf. Don't put a stumbling block in front of the blind. But it also means metaphorically, if somebody has a disability, if somebody has a weakness, a vulnerability, don't take advantage of that. Help them. Be kind to them. Be generous to them. Recognize a holistic view that we're all in this together. All of us together. What does it mean to be holy? It means that if you have a field and you are blessed with land, don't think that it belongs to you and you can do with it whatever you want. Take care of the land and use it to help feed the poor. The widow and the orphan and the poor, let them enter your land. This is beyond socialism. It's not just give things to other people. It's let them actually come onto your land so that they can have what they need in order to survive. This is an ideal that we're not even close to attaining, but imagine if we could. What does it mean to be just? Well, let me share with you a story about the three ministers. They were off in the retreat, and one of them said, hey, let's tell the truth about each other and let our hair down. So one says, okay, I'll tell you what my sin is. My sin is that I like to drink. The other says, my sin is that I like to carouse in bars. And the other one said, my sin is gossip. And I can't wait to get back to town to tell everybody what I just heard. My friends, sometimes we need to be silent. Sometimes we shouldn't go running around telling stories. That's what it says in Kiddushim. Don't be a gossip monger. But it also means that we should be silent sometimes. Listen in silence to the sounds of nature. That's what Shema means. It means to listen in silence to the beauty, to the majesty, to the grandeur of nature. Look at this wonderful display of handiwork, just a tiny microcosm of the beauty of nature. What does it mean to be holy? It means to be silent, to be quiet, to hear, to be able to be aware of wonders around us, to be like Moses who saw the burning bush and didn't just walk by and said, behold, I must see this wonder and pay attention. Let us behold this wonder, this earth of ours. But it means not only to be silent, but it also means at the right time to speak out. And the height of Kiddushim, which is in the center of Leviticus and the center of the Torah, the very most critical, crucial passages in Kiddushim is don't be silent when others are suffering. Chastise your neighbor if they do wrong so that you don't share in their iniquity. This is the lesson also of the Holocaust. This is why terrible things happen, because of silence. Don't be silent, speak up. If the earth is being threatened and destroyed, speak up. It also says, an incredibly sublime passage, don't stand idly by the blood of your neighbor. If there are victims of institutionalized racism, if we don't have adequate health care and people are dying, if people are dying in religious conflicts, if our earth is dying and the creatures who are within it are dying, don't stand idly by the blood of your neighbor or of your fellow creatures. Speak up, speak out. That is the lesson of this great passage. My friends, on Earth Day, on Shabbat, we recognize something important. This earth is a paradise. There are some people that think, when I die, I will go to paradise, I'll go to heaven. They do not realize this earth is a paradise. We don't have to wait till we die. We can appreciate it right now and help to create a paradise on earth where people get along, where there's no more violence in the land, and where all the religions unite to recognize our common humanity. This is what is meant by Kiddushim, holiness, a holistic approach. We believe that in the very beginning, our ancestors said we started out pure and we started out in harmony with nature, and at the end of days, we will also achieve that unity and that holiness. Let us do everything we can to try to bring about a world of holiness, of Kiddushim, now. My friends, this earth from space is a blue dot in a sea of overwhelming vast darkness, a place of lush greenery and vibrant, overflowing with life. If only we could learn to see it that way and to cherish life. This earth is a demonstration of the power, the majesty, the grandeur, the beauty of the creative power that some call God. And my friends, we have a prayer called Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu gives thanks to God, seen as a father by our ancestors, who watched over us at night and woke us up in the morning to life. Hashkivenu, thank you for protecting us, for a divine protector. My friends, we don't have to believe in supernatural beings to understand what this really means. We do have such a protector, but it's not a divine supernatural being. It's the natural, which is super. It's called ozone. The ozone layer blocks the harmful sun's rays and lets through the life-giving power and light and energy of the sun. The ionosphere, it's a magnetic shield about us that keeps out deadly cosmic rays coming from all the vast universe and protects us and allows us to survive. It's operating every second while we're sleeping, every moment while we're awake. The planet Jupiter, so large that it's almost like a second sun. Because of its gravity, it draws to it all these different meteors and comets and fragments that could have crashed into Earth and destroyed us many times. It's a divine protector, like a second father figure. Hashkivenu indicates the fact that we should take time to give thanks. Thanks for this creative power that's surrounding us. Thanks for the creative power that's within us. Thanks for the miracles that occur every day. That's what Kiddushim means. It means to have a concept that all is interconnected, all is holy. So let us listen to Hashkivenu. And when we hear it, let us give thanks for earth. Let us give thanks for the heavens. Let us give thanks for the cosmos. And let us have a view, a cosmic view of religion and of spirituality that understands that we can achieve harmony with this universe once we appreciate life, once we appreciate the world, once we appreciate each other and our precious heritage. Let us give thanks and let us all strive for holiness as we listen to Hashkivenu. Shabbat Shalom.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha You shelter us beneath ozone, O Adonai, through miracles that now are known. You protect earth and sky to keep us safe throughout the night. Earth's heavenly atmosphere blocks cosmic rays, but lets in light so life can thrive down here. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom
March 2020. A deadly virus sweeps around the world. Overnight, our lives are put on pause.
Today, the WHO declared a pandemic,
issuing a stay home, stay safe order,
directing all of our residents to quite simply stay at home.
But as we stop, remarkable things start to change in the natural world.
With the clear skies, for the first time in a lifetime, we can see the Himalayas.
With beaches closed to humans, these animals were nesting at a more successful rate than we've ever seen.
One vocalizing and then the other. I'd never heard that before.
From the start of lockdown, across 5 continents, we have recorded a global experiment of epic proportions that has shown us, if we choose, we can transform the health of the planet for all.
We stand on the earth, so we better stand for her together. We stand on the earth, so we better stand for her together. Stand up for Mother, stand up for each other. Stand up for Mother, stand up for each other. We were put in this paradise, it's our job to guard her life. We were put in this paradise, it's our job to guard her life. Stand up for Mother, stand up for each other. Stand up for Mother, stand up for each other. Oh.
לתת גדולה לנוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים
On this Shabbat, where we celebrate Earth Day, and also Acharei Mot, which means after the death, we think now of those who have passed on before us, and we think, how can we honor their memory? We think of George Floyd and all the victims of police brutality. We think of the victims also of black-on-black violence, and also the stupendous, horrific amount of people that have died in this country from gun violence of every race and creed. We think of the over 2,000 Americans who died in Afghanistan, and the many thousands more of Afghanistani people who have died in that conflict as well. We think of those who have perished from the coronavirus. And we ask ourselves, how can we honor their memory? Perhaps we can do so by trying to stamp out irrational religion, which leads people to fight against the United States and to try to push their religion upon others in Afghanistan, Iran, or so many other countries. We think, what can we do to improve the recognition that science should guide our government officials, which we should have learned with 2020 hindsight from the coronavirus, so that we can prepare for climate change and try to avoid similar catastrophes. We also think at this time of our loved ones, people who have molded and guided and shaped our lives, people who set a high standard. Let us try to live up to their standards and their ideals, and let us try to fulfill all the hopes and dreams that they saw in us. As we read the Kaddish in that way, we can make their memory a blessing. Yiskedal v'yiskadash shemei Rabbah, v'yomad yivrach ruseh v'yamlich malchuseh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeh l'chol beis Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mivorach le'olam umei umaya, yisparach v'yistabach v'yispoar v'yischoma v'yisnaseh, v'yisadar v'yisaleh v'yisalal shemei l'kedashah v'richu. Le'elam min kol b'chasa v'shirasa, Dish b'chasa v'nechamasa, da'amichon v'yoma v'yimru amen. Yehi shalom Rabbah min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace and comfort bring peace and comfort to all who mourn, and let us recognize and realize that we, human beings, each one of us, can be a source of peace and comfort to others. In this way, we act in a godlike manner, and we can make the words of the Kaddish come true to provide consolation for others as well as for ourselves. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom and happy Earth Day. We're so glad to have you joining with us for this wonderful celebration of Shabbat and our planet Earth. We know that if we take the right steps and the right precautions, that our Earth can heal. We saw this just last year when the whole world shut down for COVID-19. We cannot forget about this, and we hope that you'll join with us to do all we can to help Mother Earth to thrive for us, our children, our grandchildren, and all the future generations. I'm Sharon Leibovitz, and I'd like to share with you some of our upcoming programming for Va-Dor. Tomorrow, Saturday, April 24th at 10 a.m., we welcome you to join in on our more traditional Shabbat morning service, where we can create community together and learn more about Shabbat, the prayers, and the meaning behind them. The service is led for us by Andrew Sussman, educator and cantorial soloist. We've implemented some modification to tomorrow morning's service, and it will be more abbreviated, and we hope to see you there. Tomorrow evening, Saturday, April 24th at 7:30 p.m., we will present a most interesting program about the lesser-known side of Leonardo da Vinci, his visionary machines and ideas. We've changed the date from Sunday evening due to some conflicts. We hope that you'll join in on this special presentation by Jeff Cashton. Learning is always exciting and refreshing, and that is exactly what you'll get from our weekly program, Chat with Two Rabbis. Please join us on Zoom this Tuesday, April 27th at 7 p.m. to hear and ask questions about the Torah Parsha and more from two perspectives, a progressive and modern view from our Rabbi Barry, and an Orthodox view from our guest, Rabbi Zvi Kahn. It's a most enlightening time. We hope you'll join us and support us at Va-Dor as we build the Judaism of tomorrow today, a Judaism based on reason, intellect, and a rational approach, one that honors our traditions, respects science, and celebrates spirituality, a Judaism that is building bridges of understanding and breaking down the walls of separation. We hope that you'll continue to choose Va-Dor, make us a favorite, and share us with your family, friends, and neighbors. You can find the links for our programming on our home or calendar pages of our website, ladorvador.org, our Facebook page, and within our email newsletters. Become a part of the Va-Dor family. We'd love to see you. Continue the celebration of Shabbat and Earth Day along with Va-Dor tonight at our Zoom and Schmooze Oneg Shabbat at 8 p.m. We have another special Earth Day video to present, and we also have some amazing music and great conversation and discussion waiting for you. We hope to see you there. We wish you a splendid Shabbat and a wonderful weekend, and we hope that you will participate in our two exciting programs tomorrow, Saturday. Shabbat Shalom and happy Earth Day with love and much gratitude from Va-Dor to you.
On this very special Shabbat, where we also celebrate Earth Day, I have prepared a final benediction reflective of the focus of Earth Day, the protection of our precious planet. The world is my treasure, I shall not want. I give thanks for green pastures that provide our daily bread. I rejoice in the sacred waters of ocean, rivers, lakes, and streams. May we restore the purity of these sources of life. I seek the spiritual path and the peace of a good name for the earth's sake. Yea, though I walk in the valley of the shadow of mortality, I shall fear no evil, for reason and love they comfort me, and I have no need of false gods. My enemies are no more when I make them my friends. My mind is anointed with reason. My Yiddish cup runneth over with emet, and my heart rejoices with tzedek. Surely I shall pursue kindness and mercy all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in love and peace forever. And let me offer this blessing to you. May you be a source of joy and strength and life. May you be part of the human enterprise to experience a paradigm shift, to learn to be able to be stewards, caretakers of the earth, and to live in harmony with the earth. In that way, this service will not have been in vain. In that way, the hopes and dreams of our ancestors will not just be something that died with them. In that way, we will carry on their legacy and help to make this world what was envisioned by our ancestors in the very beginning in the Garden of Eden and also the end of days. Let us help to create a paradise here on earth, and may you be instrumental in that wonderful effort. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us on this very special Shabbat.
Adon Olam Hashem Olach B'Terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li Yesh Nasal B'Chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'Acharei Kichlos HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora V'Hu Aya V'Hu Hoveh V'Hu Yiyeh B'Sifara V'hu yeh b'sifara. Oh, Adon Olam, oh, Adon Olam, oh, Adon Olam, oh, Adon Olam, oh, Adon Olam. Shilo lehachbira b'li reishis b'li sachlis v'lohos v'hamisra v'lohos v'hamisra v'hamisra v'hueli v'chai goali v'tzurchev li b'yesara v'hu nisi humanos li minas kosi b'yom ekra minas kosi b'yom ekra b'yom ekra. Oh Adon Olam, oh Adon Olam, oh Adon Olam, oh Adon Olam. Yado akid ruchi v'yesi shan v'yahira v'yesi shan v'yahira V'yim ruchi gevi asi Hashem li v'lo ira Hashem li v'lo ira v'lo ira Adon Olam Hashem olach b'terem kol yitzir nivra li eis nasal b'chefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra azai melech shemo nikra azai melech shemo nikra azai melech shemo nikra shemo nikra. Adon Olam.